Hey guys, welcome to a new movie review. Today we're doing In a Violent Nature. This movie I'm really excited. This is one of the movies I was excited to see because it is a slasher, but it's done very differently. You feel a little artsy, more like definitely different than your regular slasher movie. It made it look good and it is a great movie. So like in the general song, I really enjoyed this, but I don't know if any slashers have come out this year. This is the first slasher we've gotten this year, unless I'm forgetting one. Then this is a great start for the slasher films, and also a very good one in general. It's better than a lot of them. But yeah, let's jump into it. This movie starts off. It's basically a shot of like this cabin, a place that's been like destroyed, and they see like this necklace thing. And it's basically based in the cabin. You hear these people talking, and somebody takes this necklace thing. And then we find out later why the necklace thing is kind of important and da-da-da. But then this thing comes up from the ground, this like thing, person who obviously, I'm not gonna follow yet, but he comes up from the ground and he like comes back. It's like, oh shit, what is this guy? Is he a zombie? What is he? We find out later a little more what the deal is, but he eventually tries to find the little like necklace, amulet thing, what do you want to call it, thing, because I think it was his mother's or something, so he's trying to find it. And he goes into this guy's house and he finds this, the guy was talking to a sheriff, or a park ranger about like, hey, there's all these traps out in the woods. You have a bunch of teens are coming up, a bunch of like, not teens, but like maybe college students coming up, and I don't want them stepping in a trap or anything, and da-da-da-da. And having a fight with this guy. Park ranger leaves, he goes off, he goes inside the house, the bad guy, monster, what do you want to call him, I don't know, comes into the house, killer comes into the house, goes into, finds an amulet, and realizes, then the other guy comes in and he kills him. Finds the amulet, not his amulet, he opens it up or something and it's not the right picture, so it's a different amulet, so it's not the right one, but yeah, he kills that guy, and then then he goes off into the woods, and he sees a car go by, and then he eventually gets to, well, the college people, I think the college, they could be teens, but I think the college, all sitting around a campfire talking about stuff, about everything that's going on, about, you know, what's, them having like a camp except telling scary stories, and they tell about this scary story about this guy who used to when he was a kid and was treated badly and all this stuff. Now eventually he got crazy. Basically, the killer we're following, it's the story basically about him, how he killed all these people and did all this thing, so we find out that's to the killer. And also, we're following the killer, like the killer's like in front of us and we see him walking, and it's like we have a camera, it's like we're following him, kind of like we're the killer. It's in an interesting way where it's like you're following the killer throughout the beginning of it for a lot. For a lot of it, you're following the killer, I think it's nice. But you don't really see that from their perspective, you're following it through like his perspective, and then you get to see glimpses of what they have to show, like other characters to explain stuff or do things. A lot of it, you are getting it through his perspective. Not all of it, but a lot of it, you're getting it through the killer's perspective. I think it's interesting in the beginning, good chunk in the beginning, a lot of it, that's interesting. But they're talking around the campfire and they explain the story and stuff. Then they go off back to the cabin and do stuff. And then one of them goes off into the woods. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go off to the woods. And then obviously the killer comes, bam, slices his head off. Like, not slices his head off, but he's up against a tree and he has this wire or something. He does this, or some type of thing, and he goes like this and flings his head off. And he carries his head and the body, and he throws it and he breaks into like where the park ranger thing is. And he goes in there and I think he steals the Mac or does something. But he goes in there. And eventually throughout the movie, it's him killing all the other campers in ways I'm not going to explain. Some of them I'm like, okay, that's kind of like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. There's one kill in this movie that I'm like, what the fuck are you, that's like a Mortal Kombat kill, and even then I think Mortal Kombat is kind, you know what kill it is, the girl at the cliff. If you saw that kill, I was like, holy shit, I was not expecting, I knew it was gonna be violent killing and all stuff, but that's like a Mortal Kombat death. I'm like, okay, it's like so kind of over the top, and I like it, but it's like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, so, because the death before that is just a girl drowning, and then you maybe see some bubble or like the water turns red and that's it. But then you get that and it's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? You get from this nothing at all really death where it's like, okay, he died, yes, and then the other guy with the head getting cut off and other stuff, but then you get this nothing death, then you get this, he goes like from 0 to 100 real quick. But throughout the movie, you eventually find out that all of them die, all of them die except for 2, and they go to the park ranger station. And then the park ranger shows up and it basically explains what happens. That they took that amulet, right? The amulet they took was keeping him there in the ground so he wouldn't like come up and stuff. It's like keeping him at rest, keeping him from not going around killing people and keeping him sane. But since they did that, he's up and around and he's killing stuff and doing stuff. The sheriff comes and they have a little tough one. The other 2 get away, but then he takes the sheriff, not the sheriff, like you say, the park ranger, takes him to like a woodcutter, and you see him putting on the woodcutter and see the blade coming. It's like shh. And like cutting off something like shh, but doing it like very like, it's all like in one take and it's doing it very slowly. It's like doing it very slow, like he's killing me very slowly. It's like, it's very interesting the way this movie is filmed and shot. It's great, like this movie I think is great. really good. And then obviously Park Ranger dies, and then get down to the last two, and the guy kind of like say, "Hey, I'll sacrifice myself so you can go and set this trap. We have planned for him to put him back, or whatever." Da da da. So they plan the trap, and then he basically distracts him, and C runs off. But he's like, "Hey, got you!" And he turns around and just starts whamming him like. I just hit my head. Wow. But he slams him on the head with like a machete or something, and his head's like, open, and his whole head's open, and he keeps like whacking and whacking and whacking, and he keeps like doing it to like, holy shit. And then it gets to where the girl keeps running and running as he collapses or falls out as he runs, and as he gets onto the road. Eventually, it might have been a day or so because it's morning, well, daytime at this point. He's on the road. They had to pick her up and save her. It's like a nasty point. And also, then the person who picked her up talks about this thing about this bear that attack, whatever, da da da. But I believe you're hearing the story about her talking about this whole thing with this bear attacking this thing, and I'm like, cousin, brother, I don't know who it was, but somebody related to a family friend, something. It's like, okay, I think that bear is probably the killer we're listening to. Get the same similar MO, but how it's like an animal and how it attacks. It's like it's called a violent nature because the thing we're following that's going around killing people, it's kind of like an animal. He's doing it very like at the end when he's just attacking that guy. He's like a rah, 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 like he has like animal instincts, very not like a lot of other killers. Are very interesting. He's like an animal when he kills and does all this stuff. Very interesting. I think I like it. And then I remember in the end they stop to get her and patch up her leg, and they go. They die at the end. They do a shot where it looks like at the end where she's fixing up her leg. It's like, hey, we gotta stop, you gotta fix your leg, he's bleeding. Before we go to the things he does. And then do a shot where shows him like going over to the car and going around the car like it's like the killer, but it's not. It's not, but I think they patch up and then they go. It's fun. I'm surprised the killer's still out there, so it kind of is interesting. I don't know if because he left the they did do the amulet, so I wonder if that little necklace thing, if he's staying there now. If that's the case, like you killed this person and you left the amulet there, so now he's gonna stay there. If that's the case, that could be what the case is, and he's gone. So it's like great. We don't know 100%, but it's cool. This is one of my favorite horror movies of the year. It's really good. Definitely maybe my favorite slasher. Could be the only slasher I've seen this year. I can't really remember what movies came out or what considers a slasher. I don't know if there's any slashers that came out this year. It might be the first one. Just really good. What do I rate this? This is a solid. It's good. I would say I'm gonna give it a 9 because it's a good slasher. It feels very different. I think I like the difference. I like how it's a slasher, but it feels very different, and it feels a little, like I said, artsy, but in a way where I like it. I enjoy it. I'd watch it again. It's good. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you guys seen In a Violent Nature? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys can always stay epic. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.